Now, this story right here reminds me of a personal experience that I had in 2005 when I was just out of college and I was serving as a teacher assistant at a local high school. And I remember at the beginning of the school year, the principal sat us down and the principal was just really, really serious. And we all knew that there was going to be some brand new initiative coming. Something was coming our way. It was going to be brand new. And we were waiting with anticipation to find out what that was going to be. Well, it turned out what it was we were going to war with the students. That's what we were going to be doing. Now, we were going to be going to war with let's say, the culture of being a teenager back then. We were going to war with the fashion of the teens at that time. Now, there at that time there were, if you remember, teens like to wear these long t-shirts, big baggy long t-shirts that would go all the way down to their knees. That was a style back then. Just think about it. It'll come back to you. Yes, that was a style that probably some of you watching this, you went through and you fell right into it. So we were going to war with that. So the principal said to us, here's what we're going to do. We are no more tall tees. If there's a tall tee has to be tucked in. Okay? They have to tuck in those shirts. They cannot wear those tall tees down to their knees or their ankles. It's not going to happen in this school. We're going to war. So that was the message. And I wasn't even a teacher at that time, but I learned a lesson that I took with me throughout my career. And even as I became a principal, it was even more important because ultimately what happened, what I learned, and what I discovered was when you have initiatives like that, when you have new rules like that, the people who are going to be the enforcers, the main enforcers, are the teachers themselves. And teaching, it's already a difficult job. It's already challenging, especially with students who aren't as motivated, especially with students who they want to tear up your classroom. So when you add this onto it, an unpopular rule that, quite frankly, a lot of us couldn't really understand the why of it. Why are we doing this? Why are we choosing this battle to fight with the students, with the culture? Why are we doing that? So bottom line, it was a disaster. It was a very, very long year. And much like many initiatives, it slowly disappeared. The principal didn't acknowledge it, but it just slowly disappeared. There was just like the backtrack. We're not doing that anymore. Don't talk about it. You're not supposed to talk about it. So this story right here that we're talking about, it brought up, it's got some breaking news. Led to death threats. Oh man. Well, that's social media for you, unfortunately. Oh my. Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about here. Look at this. We've got a principal here in Alabama wants to do something similar to what my principal did in 2005. Alabama district bans popular teenage apparel as it introduces one of the strictest dress codes in the U.S. Here's what students cannot wear. Now, again, as we go through this, thinking about my experience, it was the why. It's always going to come back to the why. The students are going to ask about the why. And if the answer isn't crisp, if it's not consistent, if it's not clicking, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. All right, so here we go. An Alabama school district appears to be taking on the role of fashion police after introducing what may be the strictest dress code for teenage students at any high school in the country. Bessemer City High Schools is banning everything from hoodies and leggings to flip-flops and Crocs. Now, these are things that 99.9% of teenagers, they love this stuff. This is really interesting. It goes on. While some of the clothing is typically regarded as inappropriate for the classroom, such as bandanas and sunglasses, other exclusions appear more extreme, such as ban on comfy pajama pants or jeans with holes. I mean, this is, I mean, real, you know, I'm praying for the teachers in this high school. I mean, the job is already tough enough. And you talk about, and hopefully they were told, the teachers were told, hopefully everyone was told at the end of last school year that going into the school year, this is what we're going to do. Hopefully this isn't something that the teachers are coming back to school and just finding out about. Wow, pajama pants. I see that all the time with students. They'll dress in pajama pants, flip flops, Crocs, jeans with holes on it. Do they make jeans without holes in them? Okay. Now again, let's read on here. We're going to get to the why. School officials note that all of the items listed, including open-toe shoes, hoodies, and leggings, have technically been against the rules for years. You got to enforce your rules. If you have the rules, you got to enforce them. But only now our school officials are taking a stand and threatening students with suspension if they flout the rules. Let's look at this visual that they sent out. The Bessemer City High School 24-25 uniform requirements. The uniform guidelines of the school coincides with the Bessemer City dress code. Students will be placed in ISS if out of dress code. This is an uphill climb. So we got no pajama. We talked about that. No lounge pants. No tights. No hats. Oh, wow. We're going old school there, man. No hats or caps. No sunglasses. No bubble slides. Okay. No open toe slides. No Crocs. No hoodies or hoods. No headbands or sweatbands. No bonnets or bandanas. Oh, now this is, I mean, no midriffs. I mean, I think that is appropriate, but I mean, you know, you try being the guy, the male to say, hey, yeah, you see, I can't. It's uncomfortable for me to even speak it, but I think that, you know, there are definitely some things that you know, let's cover up. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, you just look at society and where we are, and just what is acceptable and public, and this is a public school. Man, you're just putting teachers in just a really tough situation, and you know, you're expecting male faculty members to address female dress. That's and okay. So no body confitted dresses, skirts. Okay, so that's similar to what they mentioned up here. Just no tight stuff and no jeans with holes above the knees. And I noticed what's missing here is you know, this is obviously, we're talking about the ladies here. They don't mention sagging, and so I can just, you know, this is like you're asking. I mean, you're asking for a lot of conversation about the why here. I mean, and definitely that would be my suggestion. I see that well, no, you've got 4 here. I thought that they were, for the sake of symmetry, they left out sagging. But I think that that's very important. I mean, that should be in here to show that, hey, we're talking about everyone here. Everyone is going to have to make some adjustments here so that they abide by the new dress code. So this is a principle. This is a principle right here. I salute you, sir. I hope the 24-25 school year is an excellent one for you and your students. But man, oh man, you got to fight on your hands. So let's get into this a little bit. This is the whys. We talk about the why. Now listen to this. Bessemer City Schools will strictly enforce the dress code and will not allow students to attend class if students are wearing inappropriate or questionable attire. The school wrote in a letter home to students and parents. The faculty and administration shall encourage students to be aware that dress and personal appearance may, in a very real manner, influence the perception and attitude others may have of the student as an individual. That is true. But man, oh man, oh man, there is, you're not going to get everyone to agree and accept that statement as fact, or accept that it's the school's place to address that. Maybe you gotta have a lot of parents, and they're gonna be very vocal that no, that's not your job. That's my job. That's my child. All right. So there was something else. There's something else I want to. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here we go. Principal Pritchett also said that by enforcing the dress code, it would be safer for the students. Now, let me hop back up. I want to give you this too. This policy is a dress code to help foster a sense of community and reduce distractions. What distractions are you talking about? Allowing students to focus on their studies, the school wrote on Facebook. Principal Pritchett also said that by enforcing the dress code, it would be safer for the students. All right, explain that. Oftentimes at the school, we have drills. We have tornado drills, fire drills, and weather drills, Pritchett said in an interview. We have to line up and go outside and things like that. We want to make sure that kids are safe moving throughout the building. Now that is questionable, and I don't think it really brought that home, because again, people are going to be questioning the why. Other things happen as well that schools can't prevent. We just want to make sure that no one breaks their leg or their ankle because the school is liable, and we want to make sure everyone is safe. So this school opens up, it says here, on August 8th, so not too long from now. And it's unfastened overalls. I remember I used to do that back in the day, unfastened overalls, where you just have just the one, or sometimes you do both, but I was a teenager. Don't judge me. Anyways, we'll be following along to see how things are going with this. That's really, really, really tough. It's a tough initiative to keep alive. It's a tough rule to continue to enforce, because again, the teachers are going to be the ones who are going to have to make sure that the students are in line. The principals, they're not going to be able to see all of those students. I don't know how big this school is, but certainly if it's not a building where all students come through one entrance and the principals are right there watching, there's going to be slippage. There's going to be students who get through, and then they're in the classroom, and now it's on the teacher, and that is definitely not ideal. So we'll be following along with that story. So check back in with us, and we'll give you an update on that story and more. Go ahead and check out birdlinks.com for this story and others for the latest and trending news in education.